Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary and I'm very excited for you to be here with me today. If you want to see this full face, go ahead and check out my previous video using all Wet n Wild products. Now let's go ahead and wash this makeup off and put on a brand new face. Hello everybody, we are back for another brand new face video. I am so excited for this brand and I hope you guys are excited as well. Now I'll just jump into it. It's not gonna be a full face. I believe we have about 10 products sitting here. So there are a couple of products for our full face that are missing, but still, as always, very exciting. Now the brand that we are putting on our face today is going to be Makeup Obsession. Yes. Now, I was able to locate these at a Target. That's typically where I do most of my makeup shopping. Maybe they're also available at Walmart, and they do also have a site online as well. So if you're if after you watch this video and you're excited about the products, I definitely would go ahead and check them out. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Now, first off, there are only 10 products. We don't have a foundation, but I did pick up 2 concealers. So depending on the coverage, maybe we'll use one as kind of like a foundation and just kind of cover up some of the spots here on my face. And then also they do not have eyeliners and mascaras. So we're going to be putting eyeshadows on our eyes. However, we won't be able to fully finish that eye off with mascaras, but that's okay. We'll still make do without. I think those are the big products that they don't have. As we go through the face, I'll mention if they do or don't have certain things. But let's go ahead and get started like we usually do with the eyes. We're going to put a little bit of concealer down as the base. So the concealer is called the Makeup Obsession Mega Conceal. And then I picked up the shade 02 and 03. So I'll probably use 02 as the concealer, and we'll maybe use 03 as a foundation later on. But let's go ahead and open this guy up here. And it is like such a large container. It's plastic. I have a feeling it's gonna have a very large applicator. Oh yes, yep. Big applicator there. Does it smell like anything? It smells kind of like a little bit of a chemical-y smell, but nothing too annoying. So we are going to dot this on the eyes, and I'm going to use a sponge today. So I've got my e.l.f. sponge here, dampened. We'll go ahead and dab this on, see what we think. So that applied nice and quick. I am seeing that it kind of looks like it's a matte coverage. It says on here that it's a long wear concealer with caffeine. Ooh, so hopefully that'll awaken our eyes. It is vegan, cruelty-free. So yeah, that was quick. Lay down really nice, has a matte feel to it. It doesn't feel too tacky, feels like it's drying down really nicely. So just from first impressions here, I think it may work as a fine eyeshadow base. Let's go ahead and get into that eyeshadow. Now, Makeup Obsession has a couple of different palettes, and I believe they all price around the same price here, but I got the one called the Bella Jordan palette because it just has really pretty colors in it. So let's open that up so you guys can see. So here's what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, this color looks so beautiful. It's like a matte shade with glitter included into it. So beautiful, pretty pinks, pop of purple. This very pretty, it looks gold when I'm like this, but it's got kind of a bronzy color to it. All of the shades do have names, so depending on the ones that I use, I'll let you know what the names are. Beautiful shimmery pink up here. Just super excited. So as usual, I'm not sure what we're gonna do for the eye look here, but we've got some beautiful colors to work with. So let's go ahead. I think what we're gonna do, starting with like a transition shade, we're gonna pop into this guy here. He is called 1760, just kind of like a, I think it's like a mauve-y type color. So let's grab a brush. We will use the Morphe M433 brush. It's nice, it's got a mirror on here. I have a side mirror here as well, but we'll be able to kind of get up and close with the mirror that's provided in the palette, which is really nice. So we've got that first color applied. I definitely, I'm liking it so far. It's a powdery type of feel. I don't know how smooth it's applying. I think there are a couple of spots where it's kind of gripping too on my eye a little bit more than on other spots here, but I'm not too worried about that yet. So just kind of as a quick little base there. So there's a bright white here, which is matte, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 like true mattes in here, and then there's like these other ones that are like mattes with shimmer included. I guess there's a black in here as well. They've got white and black, which is really, really awesome. So we can probably actually use one of these as a liner, which is really nice. I really like this color here, but I'm worried to add it yet, kind of in that crease transition area still because of the shimmer, but it might not be too bad. I'm also really drawn to this purple down here too. Let's grab this guy here. Let's kind of build him up in the crease as well. We'll kind of see how much of that shimmer stays or if it falls off right away, and we'll kind of focus this more on the outer part here. Okay, we've got that shade applied. Now, the shimmer that's in the pan there doesn't even honestly pick up on the eye at all. I'm pretty sure when I tap in and then do that, most of it just falls off anyways, or it's probably not even, it might not even be picking up, but I'm not seeing any of that shimmer on the eye. Maybe it would pick up more if we were to use our finger and press it in. Maybe we'll try that later. But that's kind of what the base is looking like so far. Now, what do we want to do? Let's keep kind of building up that outer part. I think I want to go into hot sauce here. We'll take a slightly smaller brush. Okay, this is the ColourPop E21. And let's just add this on the back here as well. I don't know if I showed you that color. In case I didn't, talking about this one called Hot Sauce. And the name of that other shimmery one was called Pops. I don't know if I was remembering to tell you guys though. So Pops was the second color we put down, and now we're applying Hot Sauce to the eye. So we just kind of applied that closer to the end of the top lash line there. And then I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is the ColourPop E15, and we'll just kind of quickly go over our edges and make sure everything is nice and soft and blended through. Okay, now I really want to use this shade down here. It's called AF. And I'm not sure if I want to just apply it over the majority of the lid like I usually do, but there's also just so many of these like kind of like these purples and these pinks in here that I'm like, I want to do something with as well. Let's just stick with what we want to do here. Let's go ahead and use our finger and dive into the shade here called AF and apply that all over the lid. Now this guy does have like a creamier feel. And let's press that onto the eyelid. Okay, we've got that applied. That is such a fun, beautiful, sparkly shade. That is so pretty. I'm loving that. It does have a little bit of a fallout, like right away as I started pressing. I do have some on my eye here. So good thing we start with the eyes here first. I'm not sure how if that'll continue to fall out as we do the eye. A good tip typically, if you do have shades that fall out, once as you kind of complete your top lid, just get that mascara on right away. But we don't have a mascara, so we'll kind of have to keep an eye on it throughout the video and see if we get more fallout. But ooh, I love the sparkle in that. That is distracting. I love it. Yes. So let me grab a wipe and clean my finger. I think what I'll end up doing is I also really like that queen color here. Whoop. This color right here called Queen. I have a feeling it might perform pretty similar to this other matte shimmery one where when I dive into it, I don't know how much of that shimmer will fall off, but I think I'm gonna put that now in the backer area here again to deepen things up. Just gonna use that E21 brush. I'm not gonna worry about cleaning it up and just dip on in and pack that on. So it looks like when applying that one, again, as I kind of expected here, the shimmer doesn't even appear in the eye. So it does just look like a nice matte, which is very nice. And then I did just kind of, as I was going, use my finger just to make sure that that glitter into that deeper shade was a little more gradual. And now I've just got the original brush, the M433, just making sure that everything is nice and soft and blended. And then I might just quickly go back in to maybe Pops here. Just take that real quick and kind of just bring that in a little bit here. Add a little bit more color up in the front. And then what we're gonna do is I do want to take my wipe here and just kind of quickly clean up the edges and the fallout. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a skinnier brush. Let's use this guy. This is a Morphe E29, and we're gonna use the kind of the brow or angled liner brush here at the end. And we're gonna dip into that black here and kind of use this as a liner to the top lid. Okay, we've got that applied. That worked out pretty well. I did notice as I was putting that on, I am still continuing to get more of that glitter fallout on my face. So again, we'll see if it continues as we keep going here. I do think I want to keep with this brush here and maybe just apply a bit of this purple shade here as well, kind of as a liner, and kind of blend the black and the purple together. This shade is called 13 and the black was called Lola. So let's apply 13 now on that same brush and kind of just imitate what we were doing over top of that powder liner. Okay, we applied that. It doesn't look too different here yet, but I still think that worked out. Let's go ahead and set that down for now. We're gonna do another quick cleanup of the face here. Some of that fallout. Now it's gonna be interesting. Oh wait, never mind. I forgot, we have concealer and we're gonna use a concealer as a foundation. I was gonna say it'd be interesting because we have a primer here, but we don't have a foundation, but we're gonna use a concealer as a foundation. So that shouldn't be a problem. So yes, the next product here is going to be the primer because we don't have mascara or eyeliner. And the primer is called the Makeup Obsession Picture Perfect Primer. They had also other options of these as well. This one is a pore blurring primer. They had a matte one. I believe they had an illuminating primer as well, but I thought I'd go with this one for today. Here's what that looks like, and let's open it up. Okay. Whoa. And let's see what this looks like. Ooh. It is pink. It is thick. It does kind of smooth down. Okay. Definitely feels like it's gonna do a good job of pore filling. It feels like it has a little bit of a slick to it, so I wonder how well the foundation or concealer will lay on top of it, but it does have that pore filling feeling, which is very nice. So let's take a little bit on our fingers and prime our face. I'll probably put it over the majority of my face. I've got some good stuff I want to pore fill right now, but usually with a pore filler I will just kind of keep it around the nose and on the chin here, but I am going to kind of pull it out a little bit more than usual, and we'll see kind of how that works out. Okay, we have that applied. I like how this feels on the face. I'd said that it kind of had a slick feel at first, but that doesn't stick around for too long. Definitely pore filling. My pores are looking minimal, which is very exciting. So thumbs up on that so far. The feeling, it feels really good on the face. Dry, doesn't feel like, it feels like not gripping or anything, but I feel like the foundation should sit on it just fine. So far, very excited about that. I like the consistency of it. It's very thick to come, like, not thick, I guess thick, like thick to come out. So you can easily only get small amounts at a time because of the consistency of it, and just a little bit comes out at a time. Applied that in the places I needed to, and if I needed a little bit more. So that consistency feels really, really nice. So let's put the lid on that and go ahead and apply concealer as foundation. So the other shade was the 03. Let's open this guy up. Nice. And again, we're going to use the e.l.f. blender here, dampened. And let's just dot this on our face. Now that it's a concealer, I might be going overboard, but we'll find out. Alrighty, so we've got that applied. It might not quite be a good match, but still I think it works out just fine. Now, a concealer as a foundation, I think it actually worked out pretty well right away. I was really impressed by it. I would say it's got kind of medium coverage, but it was definitely buildable over some of these spots here that I have on my face. It doesn't like glide, like it doesn't move around too much, so you kind of got to really work fast with it. If that's the area you want to press it down pretty fast, I'd say. It's got a matte coverage to it. I think I mentioned that when I was putting my eyes, it looked I mentioned that it looked kind of matte, so yep, definitely appearing matte on the face here as well. So let's use the other concealer here now to try and brighten up under the eyes here a little bit. That's how that's looking. It's a touch lighter. It's they don't really specify like shade names or shade types, just 02 and 03 is what I have. Maybe I could have gone with like 01. I'm not quite sure if that was a white or if it was a little bit lighter, but maybe an 01 and an 03 it would have been a little bit more different in shades to see a little bit more brightening here, but still I think it's a good job, doing a good job concealing so far. We'll see if that creases up. Let's go ahead and get the face set. Yes, let's set the face down here. So the next product is the Makeup Obsession Pure Bake Transparent Baking Powder. He's messy. Just opening it here, it is falling out of the... Ooh. Oh boy. Well, yeah, it's ready to use. Let's go ahead and set our face here. It's gonna be a little messy. Let's stick to the blenders today. So I'm gonna use a dry, well, no, just kidding. I actually really enjoy using a brush. Let's use a small brush here. This is a Sandra Kashunk face brush. Let's go ahead and swirl in here and set under our eyes. And I'm just going to use the same brush to do the rest of the face. We've got things sort of set down. I just wanted to make sure that we took care of under the eyes for sure. I do have the other powder products here that I'll be using as well, and I might set a little bit more under the cheeks here and give that a try. But we've got our under eye set. That was pretty good. Very messy. So let's get the lid. Well, we'll just set that actually off to the side for now because we're gonna end up using that probably again. And let's finish up our eyes here quick. So let's go back into that palette. And I think it would be fun to maybe use those pinks and purples that we were looking at for under the eye here. Ooh, that powder feels so soft. I didn't really talk much about it. Yeah, cool. Let's go ahead and grab ColourPop E18 and we'll start with this guy here, this 1706. Just kind of apply that all over on the bottom. Okay, and then let's take the shade 13 here and we'll focus him closer to the back here. Let's take this shade here called Magic. He's a shimmer, and we'll take a smaller brush. This is another ColourPop E20. Dip on into him. And apply that in the inner half here. Okay. Here's that so far. I like how those are laying down, but I do want to bring that golden on the bottom as well. So I'm just going to dive in with the same brush ever so slightly, and this will probably fall everywhere, but I will try to just press a little bit of that kind of just over the pink as well to bring some of that into the bottom. Okay, and then same brush here still. I want to dip into the black here a little bit and just deepen up things a little bit more in the outer area. And then the last thing we want to do with the eyes here is I really want to use this pink shimmer here as our inner corner highlight. It's called Glow Baby, so I'll just use my finger, dip in on there, and apply that. And here are the eyes as complete as they're going to be. Let's just make sure everything's nice and blended. All right, so I'm liking how that's looking. Obviously, it would be so nice if we at least had a mascara to just really finish things off, but the colors are fun. They're a lot of fun. I love the sparkle that it has. It is having a little bit of fallout there, but So far I'm really happy with how that's looking so far. Let's go ahead and go into the brows. Let's do the brows. Now, the brow product here is called the Makeup Obsession Brow Pomade. I got the shade Blonde. It comes with a small little brush here. It's got a little angled guy and a little flat one here. So maybe we'll use that. I did pull out that angled guy. We'll at least use this spoolie for that. We'll open it up. Here's what that looks like. There's a little glitter flick in there. Do you see that? Do you see that little bit of shimmer? Oh, don't know how he got in there. Oh well. So I don't use pomades very often, as if you've watched my previous videos, brows are probably something I'm the least familiar with, so brow pomades are very new to me, so we'll just see what we think of it. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my side mirror here in a little bit closer and give this a go. We're gonna comb through our brows here first. And then I'll give the brush here that they have with it a try. If not, we'll use another angled brush and see if that'll work better. Let's go for it. We'll see what happens. Okay, we've got those applied. Definitely dark, darker blonde than I'm used to, and a little bit does go a long way. What I ended up doing was just taking and dabbing it on my hand here before going in on my eye or on my eyebrow, and then blending it out that way, and like I hardly had to dip back into my hand here. So I mean, it was quick. I don't know if I did it correct, but it did deepen them up a little darker than what I'm used to. And the one thing I wish we did have would be like a brow gel. If I'm remembering correctly, Makeup Obsession did have 2 brow products, and I think it was just a pencil and a pomade, but I wasn't able to get the pencil. All I had available to me was the pomade, but they didn't have anything that was like a gel or anything. So I do wish we had something to kind of like move the hairs around a little bit more. I mean, it was quick. Here's what they're looking like, nice and dark. Let's go ahead and set her aside and wash off my hand here. And we will go into the rest of the face products. Next we have blush. So for blush, we have a palette here called Isn't It Peachy? Now I think this is so cute. So opening it up here, here's what it looks like. Now definitely deeper shades than what I'm used to. We'll probably most likely use this guy and maybe top one of these guys over top. I'm not too interested in using this glimmer one here, but it is pretty cool that it is a palette. So let's go ahead and find a brush. We will use what we usually use, which is an angled blush brush, angled elf blush brush. And let's start by dipping into this color here called Daydream. Okay, we've got that applied. You can definitely see it a little bit there. It's not a color that I have in my collection, I believe. It's on the orange side, but I do think it's a really fun color, and I do think we could possibly build it up a little bit more than this, just that color that's on its own. But I think it might be fun to go into this color here at the end called Bloom, and then just try to deepen it up with that color. So let's dive in there. There's those 2 colors. Again, colors that I don't have in my collection, but I do like them. I'm gonna go ahead, they are very pigmented, like putting it on right away, it was like boom, you could see it. So I'm gonna take my sponge here and just kind of tap over it to soften it up a little bit. But I do really like it. I don't know if the oranges go with the pinky purple golden eye look that we have. There's the blush applied. Let's go ahead into the next product, which is our bronzer. Again, we have another bronzing palette. This is called the Give Me Some Sun palette. Opening it up, very similar to the other one. It's got 4 in here. Let's take this protective piece off. There's what that looks like. Now this one has 2 of the more shimmery guys in it, and then 2 mattes. I don't think I'm going to focus on any of those shimmer guys. I don't usually lean towards a shimmery bronzer. I do really like the packaging of the blush, or the bronzer, the blush, and even like the eyeshadow. I just like the way it looks. I think it's really cool. Let's go ahead. I think Buff looks a little cool. I don't know if I want that guy. I think we're going to go with Raise. I think I'm going to take another e.l.f. brush here. This is an e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. Dip in on there. And what I want to do is I want to go like this first on my arm, just to kind of shear it out so we don't go too harsh in. And then from there, we'll blend that on the face. I am just realizing, I think I usually do my bronzer first. I don't know why I did my blush first, but that's okay. Okay, so the bronzer is applied. I think it applied really nicely. It's a little bit more, I think it's kind of got like a red, very warm undertone to it. So at first when I started blending it up here, I was like, ooh. But I think it works out pretty nicely here. I like the warmth it brought back to the face here. I am going to set the brush down here, and we are going to go back into the powder and do a little bit of a bake on the bottom here just to kind of clean and crisp that up. So I've got a dry blender here. I've got our setting powder. We're going to dip in and just kind of clean it up here. And then I don't need to let that sit for too long. Let's go ahead and take the brush that we used for setting the face before, and then just kind of blend that out. I think that worked out a little bit, kind of crisped it up a little bit there. Okay. So here's what the face is looking like so far. I enjoyed the blush and the bronzer here. I think that first blush that I put on had a little bit of a sheen to it. You can see a little shine to the face there. A little bit, just barely. But yeah, I'm liking how the face is looking and feeling so far. I'm noticing with that powder, I'm liking how it's feeling on the face, but it definitely has a smell, and it is so light that it just kind of floats everywhere, and so I can keep breathing it in and smelling it, and that smell is kind of intense. So just things to keep in mind as we're going through here. But let's go ahead and put on the highlighter now. And the highlighter is called the Makeup Obsession Mega Lighting Highlighter. And I think they had a couple of different mega highlighter options. I went with this white and kind of golden one. So it looks like that. Ooh. Let's go ahead and take our Sigma brush here, the Sigma F03 Highlighting Cheekbone Highlighter Brush. Swivel on in there and apply. Alrighty, that definitely has a glow to it. That is pretty. Yes. Used it on the brow here a little bit. Put some on the nose, the Cupid's bow. But yeah, right away, first apply, boom. Yes, awesome. Okay, I think we're on our last product. Let me just make sure. Yeah, last product here is the setting spray. We don't have a lip product. They have a lip gloss, but I haven't included lip glosses in my makeup videos here yet, so I didn't add that one. And there was also, they had a Makeup Obsessions like cheek and lip like duo. It was like a cream stick that you could like tap on and then put on your lips and stuff, but I thought these palettes would have been a lot of fun, and plus I don't think my Target had it, so that would have been a good option for lips, but we didn't get it. So they have glosses and they have that, but I ended up not including those in the pricing here. But if you want to see those, let me know in the comments and maybe I can get my hands on it and try it out for you. Let's take a swig of water and set our face. The setting spray is called the Makeup Obsession Dewy Fix Dewy Makeup Fixing Setting Spray. And they have other options as well. They have a matte one, they have an illuminating, I think they have like a long-lasting one possibly, but I went with dewy because I like to mix it up. Let's go ahead and test out the mister. Okay. Doesn't seem too harsh or anything like that, so let's go ahead and spray the face down. And then I'm just taking my sponge, making sure everything is nice and pressed in. Feels pretty good. The sprayer wasn't too intense, which is really nice. It didn't seem like it left little droplets anywhere at all. It had a little bit of scent as it like sprayed out, nothing that I could recall what it is, but like dissipated right away. Like, so smell isn't an issue, dries down really fast, which is very awesome. So yeah, oh my goodness, we finished our face. Here's what we're looking like. It would have been so nice to have at least a mascara to kind of like really set the eyes in place. And of course a lip color is always nice, but not needed. Well, sometimes needed. In this instance, it's not bothering me too much. So yeah, let's go ahead, get ready to wash our brushes up here and talk about the products. Okay, so our overall face here cost us $91.90. Now, looking at that price, and that is including concealer, one concealer for foundation and then another concealer for concealer. So that did bring the price up a little bit. But looking at that price and the amount of products that we have, I mean, I enjoyed the performance of most of them overall, but the fact that we didn't get a full face and we were kind of up in that $90 range, I don't know. I do wish that price could have been a little less. So I was a little shocked by that price for not having quite a full face, but at the same time, I do really like kind of where we got with this full face. So let's go ahead and talk about the products here individually as we clean our brushes. And the first product would have been the concealer. And we'll just talk about the concealer as a foundation there as well. And I think that performed pretty well. There wasn't anything like as a concealer that like really struck out to me, but I do think that the eyeshadows are laying nicely on top of it. I'm not seeing any creasing happening, which is really nice. It feels really nice on the face. As a foundation, it applied pretty matte. It, like I said, does not feel heavy on the face. Doesn't seem to really be sinking into any spots, really. So that's pretty awesome. I'm honestly maybe more excited about this as a foundation more than I am as a concealer, because it just didn't shock me too much as a concealer, but as a foundation, I thought it brought good coverage, buildable coverage. It was a nice matte finish. It's not heavy on the face here. So I am going to say yes to this product, but primarily as a foundation. So yes to that. And then next we have the eyeshadow palette. Now this guy as well, I'm probably going to end up saying yes just because I do really like the colors in it. But at the same time there, a lot of these colors are colors that I do have in existing palettes already. And the fact that I didn't mind that when applying it on my eye, some of those like shimmer mattes didn't have the shimmer come through, but that is a little bit misleading that you see that beautiful shimmery matte combination and then you dot it on your eye and you're like, where's the shimmer? So that might be a little bit of a letdown there for me. I didn't mind that at all. And then there is that one primary shimmer guy that we have on the lid here who has kind of just been falling out on the face as we've gone through this video. So maybe using something like a sticky or a glitter glue type primer for those might help a little bit. So overall I am saying yes, but also at the same time, I definitely have other palettes and stuff that I probably would be choosing over this one, just because of the colors that are in it and also just the performance of the glitters. And then next we did the face. Next we went on to the face. And so for the face, we had that Picture Perfect Pore Blurring Primer. This guy, I think this is a definite yes. I love finding pore filling primers. Typically they come in those like, kind of like containers like this guy here. You kind of have to get in there with your finger, but I love that this one's in a tube like this and the control that you have on it is super awesome. Definitely right away noticed the pore filling. I liked the way it felt. It looks like the foundation is sitting on it so far pretty nicely. So this, yes, I think out of everything overall, this is probably my favorite product out of this Makeup Obsession line. So this guy, yes, for sure. And then we will go into the blush, this guy right here. This guy I'm also going to indicate a yes, mostly because it's not colors that I have in my collection so far. So I do want to include them for other types of makeup looks that I want to do. Definite high pigment, which is super nice. I thought it's glided on pretty well. Nothing about the performance like really stood out to me, but I do just like the orangey tones that the blushes are in here, so that is definitely going to be a yes. And then for the bronzing palette here, this is one that I'm gonna have to kind of take a look at and compare to other bronzers that I have. I did think it'd be cool to have a palette where you have a couple of different bronzing options. However, the fact that two of the guys in here are shimmers, which are not bronzers that I'm going to typically go towards, I don't think I'll use them. And then this guy is kind of a gray, cool color. Maybe it's fine for my skin tone. I'm not really sure, so I'll have to try that out. This guy was definitely very warm. He worked out really well, but at first it was, you had to go in easy with him, else you would have just like, yeah. So I'm going to hang on to it for now, but I do also want to just compare it to other bronzers that I have to see if it will continue to stay in the collection. And then, did we talk about the brows? We did not talk about the brows. Brow pomade. I'm going to say no, mainly because it's too dark of a blonde for me. I definitely don't usually like my brows to be this dark. I don't want to say no to it because of the fact that it is a pomade, because I'm just not familiar with pomades, so I can't bash it on that at all. But primarily just because of the color being just a little bit too dark of a blonde, I don't think this is one that I will get a lot of use out of. So that one's going to be a pass. And then we have, let's go into the setting powder. Now for the setting powder, this one might also be a pass. I really like setting powders, but this one was just really messy, and I know that happens a lot with setting powders. but it had a smell. It kind of just like got everywhere, and you just, even when you weren't using it, you were just kind of breathing it in. I mean, and it did a fine job here, and it feels fine on the face, but I have a lot of setting powders, and I definitely have ones that I do think perform a little bit better than this one and are a little bit cleaner to use. So that is one that I am going to be passing on. And then next is the highlighter. Yes, I like the highlighter. I think it's beaming and beautiful. Yes, yes. And last is going to be the setting spray here. This one's also going to be a yes. I really liked the way that it laid on my face. My face feels nice and dry, set in place, so that feels really good. I'm curious to see some of their other setting sprays as well. It doesn't feel too dewy. I mean, the highlighter is definitely doing its job. So it's a very subtle dewy, I think. So maybe if I built it up here a little bit more, that dewiness would show through a little more. But yeah, I really liked how this set the face down. And that's everything. That's probably the quickest I've ever talked about products before. Wow. Yeah, that is everything for this video. I hope you guys like this almost full face. Let me know if there are any of these products that we use that you would like to see put to a full wear test. If there were any Makeup Obsession products here that I ended up not using that you'd like me to put to the test, please leave that information down in the comments below. And also, if you guys have a brand recommendation for these brand new face videos, I'd love for you guys to leave that in the comments down below as well, and I can add it to the list of so many brands. That's going to be everything for this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you guys can be notified. That's going to be everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.